Hi everybody, we're going to talk through really probably about the first 4 or 5 sections in chapter 3 in your book, which is a chapter on inequalities. So we've solved equations. This is a step beyond equations into what's called inequalities. If you'd like to read along in your book, we're in chapter 3, and again, we'll cover probably section 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 3-4, maybe into 3-5 today. All right, so we're covering a lot in a little bit of time, but these are pretty straightforward. So we're going to look at inequalities. We might read a sentence like, and you hear this all the time, the temperature today will reach a high of 58 degrees. So we might say, write an inequality that represents today's temperatures. We'll write the inequality and represent or graph the inequality on the number line. So we see these symbols. You probably remember these from elementary school or middle school. Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. When we say write an inequality, we need a variable. So I'll go with T for temperature. And it says it will reach a high of 58 degrees today. So that means the temperature is going to be at a maximum 58 degrees, and it will stay below that 58 degrees. So I would say our temperature will be less than or equal to 58. So the question here, do I include the 58 or not? And it says it will reach a high of 58 degrees. So I'm going to include that 58. And the way I do that is by that little line underneath that less than sign. Okay, so today is just about practicing these inequalities. Here, the temperature today will reach a high of 58 degrees. I would say T is less than or equal to 58 degrees. If that said the temperature today will stay under 58 degrees, I would say T is strictly less than 58 degrees, meaning it's never going to hit 58 degrees. So it's inclusive versus exclusive. We have these 4 symbols. We would see something like X is strictly greater than, meaning it's going to stay underneath that temperature, or X is strictly less than, or we could say X is greater than or equal to, meaning it will include that value, or X is less than or equal to a particular value, meaning again it will include that value. So that little symbol, that little dash underneath the less than or equal to sign or the greater than or equal to sign means it includes. We say it's inclusive of the value we're talking about. So just as a reminder, how we draw these, when we say X is greater than, we would, on our number line, we would draw an open circle with an arrow to the right. Now here's a little thing to think about. The arrow this way, the greater than symbol, it's the same as what's at the end of the number line, the way it's pointing on the number line. If I say X is greater than or equal to, then I'm going to use, we call it a closed circle. So I would color in that circle and draw the arrow again to the right. So what we're looking at here is an open circle or a closed circle. Closed circle means included. It's got more ink in this symbol. We color it in. An open circle means not included. Similarly, if we go down to these other ones, X is strictly less than, I would do an open circle, arrow to the left. And again, arrow points the same way the end of the number line that it's approaching points. X is less than or equal to would be a closed circle with an arrow to the left. So open circle, if that little line is not underneath it. Closed circle, if the little line is underneath it. Okay, inclusive versus exclusive. When would we use that? Let me go back to the problem. Here's 4 quick examples. So I've given you the inequality. I want to graph it on the number line. First one says B is greater than or equal to 4. And I will let you know right now, I am not particular about number lines. I don't care how nice and neat they look. I'm a scribbler myself. I would put the 4 there, maybe a couple other numbers around it. I don't spend a lot of time drawing nice, neat number lines. You might, that's fine, but I will not, and I don't care if you're sloppy on these. What I want to see is very clearly that that's a closed circle with an arrow going to the right because it's greater than or equal to. And again, that points at the end of the number line. It faces the same direction. The next one says m is less than -5. So again, I need that -5 on my number line. Be careful when you're drawing number lines. -6 is to the right, -4 is to the left. We are in the negative direction. M is less than -5 would mean an open circle at -5. My arrow is going to the left. Next one says k is greater than 2.4. Well, let's see, I might say 2 is here and 3 is here, so 2.5 would be there. So 2.4 would be in between, a little less than 2.5 would be an open circle with an arrow to the right. Or I could say t is less than or equal to 0. There's 0, 1, -1. If you want to put other numbers on there, that's fine. Again, I'm kind of sloppy here. Less than or equal to 0 would be a closed circle over the 0, arrow to the left. Now, if we're in class, people always ask me, is that the way you want us to draw them? I don't care. Some of you will be very neat. Some of you will put a dot like that with an arrow up and that way. Some of you will do an open circle and kind of a wiggle that way. I don't really care. It is important to put the arrow at the end of whatever it is you're drawing, just to indicate that it goes on forever. But I'm not real particular there, okay? We might see, and we're going to start with just very simple ones here, something like solve and graph. So we have with these inequalities the same properties of inequalities that we have as properties of equality. If I wanted to solve and graph x minus 5 is less than or equal to 3, about that, I would add 5 to both sides of the inequality. And I would get x is less than or equal to 8. So there's my 8, there's 9, there's 7. It's a less than or equal to. And that inequality is not ever going to change from a less than to a less than or equal to, or vice versa. If it's a less than or equal to, it's staying a less than or equal to. We'll never change, we'll never get rid of that little line that's underneath. So that would go that way. 2x plus 7 is greater than -15. I would subtract 7 from both sides. I would get 2x is greater than -22. Divide by that 2, divide by 2. I get x is greater than -11. There's my -11. Again, thinking of order on the number line, -12 is this way, -10 is this way. I have an open circle because it's strictly greater than, and my arrow would go this way. I'm going to pause there for today, and we're going to look at tomorrow some of the more challenging things that happen within these inequalities. They're really not hard. There's a couple of things we need to keep in mind as we work our way through them. As a reminder for you Alpha students, you will be taking your written test in class on Monday. For you fully remote students, I'll have something for you digitized by Monday. I'll let you know where to look for that test. And we'll continue with these inequality videos. So Thursday and Friday, inequality video and practice. Again, there's not a whole lot to this until we dive into the more difficult stuff. So for homework today, we're going to go over to Delta Math, deltamath.com, which we haven't done for a while. So if you do not remember your login, send me a message and I'll look it up for you. When they say they ask for your username or username or email, they really mean your username. And if you don't remember what that is, just send me a message and I'll let you know, okay? And I can change your password if we have to. All right, so we'll practice some of these simple inequalities today and look at a little bit more complicated stuff tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody. I would,